So, being this has been said 1,000 times over decades or centuries, probably even millenniums, the best way to protect yourself in any situation is carry a weapon. More than likely, a gun. And the reason being, now you can say, well, I don't want to kill anybody, or I don't want to, do any harm, but you want somebody else to do it for you. So somebody's still going to do it. You just don't want to be the culprit. And then you'll turn around and complain about the crime happening to you. And now you're saying, well, yeah, that's how it is. That's how we do it. I don't know who the we is. But anyway, that's to solve it, to keep from being raped, to keep from being murdered, to keep from being robbed, and to knock crime off its high horse. A lot more people are going to have to start carrying. And they're going to have to realize the Second Amendment and all our rights that are ours, we need to keep uninfringed. Because that's the only way that they figured 200 years ago, which still stands today, that you can protect yourself. Because there's not going to be a hero there unless you have a hero. And then, what if they target the hero, and they target him, and they whatever, him or her or whatever, whoever it is you're claiming your hero is, your dog. I wouldn't put an animal up to protect me. I wouldn't get a dog for protection. You might get a dog for early warning, but there's a lot of stuff you can get for early warning. But what I'm saying is, the police ain't going to be there. They ain't going to hold your hand. You can be killed 20 minutes, 5 minutes to shoot. You can be killed 2 minutes before they get there. And does it matter, if they're going to show up? If you're dead or raped or whatever, and if you didn't want raped or if you didn't want murdered, I'm sure there are people out there saying, I hope I get murdered today so that, my life is meaningless, but I'll be a martyr for everybody that wants gun control. And I'll be raped and it'll be a martyr for gun control, or it'll be I'm sure, there might be one or two. I'm not going to say there ain't. And because there's people that have stuff stolen for money. So who's not to say that people are, maybe some, or whatever. I'm not even going to get into that. But I'm just saying, if you want to knock crime down, which apparently this government doesn't care about crime. All they want to do is tax and fine, and they just want more money. And that's what all these laws are for. They don't care about anybody. It's not going to solve anything, because they already got laws against criminals having guns, and the criminals still commit crimes. That's what it is. And to stop the crime, you have to carry a gun, unless you're good with a knife. And you have to be good with a gun too. You can't just freaking buy one and think that's all you need. Now you might be able to flash it. You might have one consequence your whole life, that it'd be stopped, and it might be stopped by you just showing it, not flashing it, not brandishing it like, oh hey, I'm a badass. But if it comes down to where you have to pull it, the side of it might, you could say, well, I didn't really need it. Well, you don't know. If you didn't have it, you would have needed it. So that's all I'm going to say. We're not going to get rid of crime unless this happens, and that's the only way it's going to happen. Is people are going to have to take care of themselves. They can't just. Everybody can't just depend on somebody else to do something. If you want to be dependents, maybe there ought to be a state for people that are dependent on others, and we'll just put them in a state. One of the states, we'll just identify one of the states to be the dependent state, where everybody wants to depend on somebody else to do stuff for them. We'll just put them there, And I'm pretty sure it'll be overpacked, and they'll start saying, you know what, there's too many people here, I want to move. But if you want to get rid of crime, or if you don't want raped, murdered, or robbed, or whatever else, you're gonna have to carry a gun, unless you're good with a knife. And that's all there is to it. Because the cops ain't gonna stop it. They're not gonna get there in time. Nobody. I mean, there's 11,000 people die, or 18,000, whatever it is, from gun deaths. Majority of those are suicides, which they'd take pills or something else if they, to do it. I don't know why they'd use a gun, but anyway, maybe they just want somebody to clean up the mess afterwards. I don't know. That's the majority of them. Then you got gang-related crimes, and then like .001 is mass shooters. But then they say that there's 500,000 to 2.5 million people stopped committing crimes or saved by guns, by people committing crimes with using guns. So 500,000, 2.5 million people weren't robbed or raped or murdered. And nobody understands this. Why do people not understand this? This is how simple does it have to be to say that, if you don't want to protect yourself, maybe you should wear a scarf on your head, notifying everybody that you don't carry a gun and that you don't mind being raped, murdered, or robbed. And that way they can target you instead of somebody else, and you can protect people that way, by wearing whatever. But everybody's got to be on the same page. You're going to have to say, well, we need everybody to know about it, make a movie about it or have it in the news. But even in the news, there's not people going to watch the news. Not everybody watches the news. Not everybody watches your news. So anyway, that's the only way you can stop crime. I mean, there's no other freaking way. No other, because criminals ain't going to stop. I mean, it's been going on too long. Government's criminals, and the government rips people off all the time. I mean, there's high crimes, there's low crimes, and then there's whatever. Anyway, I don't understand why people are against the Constitution. I really don't.